All right, guys. So sorry for the slight disorganization getting things started today. We've had a bit of a, honestly, the 4 p.m. start time is a bit of a challenge.
It's hard to hit. Yeah.
People are like, oh, well, why don't you just set everything up and then it's already there when you get back? And I'm just like, you know, we only have so many cameras and microphones. Yeah, one.
We have. Yeah!
One camera! So when we take that camera with us to shoot NCIX Tech Tips on Fridays, and when we go in early and try and get all of our stuff done in time to be back in time to live stream, we actually have to... B-roll? Dude! He's like playing with Velcro straps over there.
People are like audio crackling. I'm like, no, just B-roll.
No, just B-roll, just B-roll. You know what? Okay, we have a ton of topics today. It's actually going to be a really good show. But what I want to start with is the level of holy crap, what is wrong with Linus's life right now, because we are in the midst of a bunch of projects. So as you may or may not know, there may or may not be some product launches coming up very soon, which makes a lot of sense because Computex is coming up soon. We're gearing up for that. We've been preparing that build guide that we launched last night that apparently you guys loved, which just warms my heart, of course. But you are not going to believe what my garage and what my house look like because we're also moving in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So there's all this stuff. So check this out. Check this out. Slick, you'll have to do the audio because I'm going to be behind the camera.
All right. I don't know. What are we looking at? All right.
We're going to look around.
So my desk here that people usually see on the set got completely removed because this is where the Intel build guide actually was. So we had to move my entire desk and everything over into this corner, which is where we usually film tech quickies and fast as possibles. But then that, once we finally moved my desk back, can't also be used for that because now we're using it as a photo booth. So
Oh yeah, right here. I should show that.
So there's the photo booth Linus is showing now. So we made like this little photo booth thing on the floor so we could take nice pictures of products.
Yeah, oh, and we had to have this white thing on the floor so we could do those pictures for the build guide.
The white thing on the floor is the when we did pictures in the pre-roll for the build guide, where Linus is sitting there and all his clothes keep on changing like crazy. That's why we needed the white on the floor, so we could get a full body shot and the background was consistent. I think he's gonna come all the way around now. Here's the shelf where I put the Model M, which is freaking awesome. B-roll's kind of hiding over there. There's some awesome Corsair showcase things that we're going to be doing fairly soon.
Holy crap. B-roll, the lens keeps saying cannot execute function because of the condition of the lens.
Something bad is happening. Not entirely sure what that means.
That is really annoying. Is it because of the aperture thing?
No, it's normal. It's when you press the control.
Everyone's very interested in what you're not doing right now.
Okay, well, whatever. Okay, so then there's this. This is our table.
This is the table that we filmed the build guide on because I had to shove it over there and bring all the stuff over there so I could keep on working.
And then here's the MacBook from the Samsung Upgrade Your Mac.
There's the MacBook from the Samsung Upgrade Your Mac video, also on TechWiki. And here's just a whole bunch of stuff that we can't really do anything with because we're moving soon. So there's no reason to actually properly organize it. Just more stuff. There's B-roll. And we're coming back. So welcome to the insanely disorganized room that is the entire studio that is also known as Linus's garage. Everyone's like, die, Mac, die! That's why it's sitting on a very high, unstable point. It will probably die at some point.
We'll be returning it at some point, so whatever.
Of course we're not doing that.
Of course, wait, what?
What?
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Honestly, though, okay, so you've seen my house, right?
Well, yes.
Does this even compare to what's going on at my house?
No, there's like a bed randomly.
Yeah.
There's like the top mattress for a bed just sitting on like the stairs between his living room and his family, or his living room and his dining room, because in a video he had to like push me and I had to go flying. So instead of falling on the stairs, I was gonna fall on like the top part of the mattress, but then that didn't actually get put back. So it's just kind of sitting there.
So it's just kind of there. Honestly, it's amazing my wife hasn't killed me. Like, it is amazing.
I think if we didn't have a plan to move everything out, you might be dead.
I think that is quite
Because
possible.
the only thing keeping you alive is that promise that it's all going away soon.
Yeah. And that the garage will be salvaged back. And yeah, we're really excited about moving. It's going to be kind of awesome. So anyways, why don't we start? Okay, so Steve Dotto, our guest, has been bumped again to next week. Sorry about that. And I wanted to clarify something as well. Last week, we said the Big Bang Theory had a laugh track, and we complained about how their laugh track was stupid, and we were wrong. Big Bang Theory is filmed in front of a live audience of hyenas. So, honestly, like I hadn't watched it. Okay, to be clear, guys, I love The Big Bang Theory. I've seen every episode from the first 4 seasons, like at least 3 or 4 times. Love Big Bang Theory. Do not like the constant laughter. I was watching an episode last night, one of the newer ones, and it's just like someone walks in the room, and it's like, why? It's not funny yet.
It's live audience laughter. One thing we talked about before was contagious laughter. So someone sees the person enter the room. This is the first time they've seen that actor. They find that actor hilarious. The person enters the room. They start laughing. Everyone else starts laughing.
Ah, he did start laughing a little bit.
Because you look ridiculous.
There you go. It turns out it works. So, yeah, so our bad, but that really still doesn't change how I feel about
Laugh tracks.
like laugh tracks.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Like, okay, here. Example of a show where it was filmed in front of a live audience, but the laughter didn't detract from it. All in the Family.
I
Oh, God.
don't watch TV.
You're so young. It's an old show. It's a classic.
I don't watch TV.
Oh, anyway,
I watched
okay.
less TV when I was a kid.
All in the Family, filmed live, amazing. And you know what? Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna get into this anymore. Why don't we do a little bit of Twitter Q&A?
Sure.
Logitech G710 Plus versus Corsair K95. Just a comparison of the features, not the switches. Slick. Looking at you.
You take that one.
You want me to take that one?
It says not the switches.
You don't even know the features, do you? That's why you don't want to do it.
Not really of the K95.
Okay, well
I
the
know 710 Plus.
K95 has some cool stuff. So you can turn all of the keys on and off individually. Do you remember seeing that at CES?
Yeah.
So you can do your zone lighting however you want. However, Logitech's software is second to none. Their gaming software is outstanding. They've been working on it longer than anyone else. I mean, that's another thing. Corsair's has improved so much.
Oh, yeah.
So much.
Definitely.
Since they first launched the K90 and the K60. But, you know, Logitech's Logitech. Logitech, I mean, they're both built well. I'd say, if anything, the K95 probably has a better build feel to it just because of the aluminum backplate. But honestly, saying compare these mechanical keyboards and don't talk about switches is just sort of like wrong. Someone says, finally you shaved. Good work.
It's coming back. Beard is not staying away. Guaranteed beard is coming back. Also, one more thing to note about the G710 Plus is there's black O-rings under the keycaps that they don't know about, but they are there and they're very nice.
And it makes it quieter and just sort of more better.
It feels really good. But they don't really call that out, so just a heads up because they're awesome.
My 3570K has hit TJ Max, sometimes over a few times. At what temperature does degradation occur? Degradation is a function of temperature and voltage. And so basically, if you're overvolting to the point where you're reaching TJ Max, I can pretty much tell you right now your CPU is degrading in some way. I actually got a message from someone I used to work with at NCIX, who is no longer there, and he was like, oh yeah, my overclock's not working anymore. Is it possible that it degraded? And I was like, yeah, it is real. It does happen. My Opteron 165, well, first it stopped overclocking as well, and then it stopped working entirely, but that's sort of a whole other thing. But yeah, degradation is real, and it is best to keep it at a reasonable temperature. This is why when I recommend running Prime 95 and I say, you know what, 85 degrees is probably fine, it's because it's never going to be loaded like that. Unless you're doing hardcore video rendering or, you know, graphics work. And even then, you render a job, you output a job, and it's done. These are consumer-grade devices. They are designed for consumer workloads where you load up a game. If you're priming at 85 degrees, you're gaming at 70. I can tell you that much. Maybe not 70, but it's a lot lower, and it's not going to damage anything. Rodrigo says, first live stream, and it's my birthday. You know who else's birthday it is? The original NCIX cameraman. So to be clear, guys, B-roll, Slick, Diesel, and cameraman are all different people. Okay, so the cameraman is actually a specific person, not necessarily whoever's operating the camera. So it's his birthday tomorrow. So there you go. Happy birthday, original NCIX cameraman. Can I get a shout out on my birthday on Sunday? Dude, how am I going to remember that by Sunday? But shout out now.
Shout out now, yay!
Yeah, yay!
The actual date doesn't matter that much.
Hi from Paris. Hello. I know it's free and all, but a simple sorry we're late is in order. I did send out a sorry we're late. I guess you're not following on Twitter.
He did message you. Probably just didn't see it.
So Twitter is here. Twitter is free too.
Free notifications for our free lateness.
Yes.
We are late for free, and we can tell you that we're late for free
Yep.
as well.
And what we'll do to make it up to you guys is a nice free apology. We're sorry for being late today.
Followed up by free videos.
Followed up by more free videos. You know what? Let's do our first live stream topic. You know what? Let's start with, speaking of free things, there's the free Linus Tech Tips Forum. Guys, join. It's free. And, speaking of free things on the Linus Tech Tips Forum, free Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Okay, so there's a few things like, oh, I didn't get it, I didn't get it.
And free freaking everything else, because
Here's another random free key. Thank you, got it.
it goes
Here-
on for pages.
Here's some more random stuff. Here's some random free stuff. You know what? Guys, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is the best community on the internet. We love the community that's going on here. People are helpful and supportive and respectful, and there are exceptions and we're dealing with them, but by and large, it is the best forum community I've ever been a part of, and you guys should go be a part of it too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to harp on it too much because we talk about it a lot, but speaking on things that we harp on too much,
EA did some good stuff.
yeah, EA did something good. So I'm going to let you handle this one. I think you found this article.
Okay, so they disabled the online pass. A lot of the only
that's-
computer people around might be like, what the heck is online pass?
Should I leave up He-Man's sexy bicep for everyone
it.
to enjoy
Do
while
it.
you talk?
Leave it right there. It's so manly. Okay, so online pass, basically you got it with the game when you bought a console game, and it enabled you to play online. Basically, the idea was if you resold the game in any way, people would have to rebuy the online pass.
Which is like the most horrible thing ever.
It's crazy, and if you think about it, if someone's buying a used game, they're probably not buying it for the multiplayer aspect.
Or maybe they are. Why not?
Or maybe they are, yeah.
I mean,
but,
if you're going to call a physical copy a license, then you better call it a license. It better be a license for everything that it is.
yeah, but if you think about it, EA closed something down. That probably means they weren't making a ton of money off it. Just to be completely honest. Like, I know this is something good that they did, but just to be completely honest, they probably weren't making that much money on it. So my idea is that when people are buying used games, it's months and months down the line, so they're assuming that the online community isn't going to be as big anymore. Online communities for some smaller games,
Okay.
like,
And why did they sell the game in the first place if it was a heavily multiplayer-based title, unless things were on the decline?
yep.
I see. So you had some examples where you've encountered this in the past, did you not?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
It's
I
a console.
I thought you said your dad had to do something, or maybe that... B-roll, was that you? Oh, never mind. It's
I
okay.
definitely have not.
Oh, okay. Well, at any rate, so what would happen is you'd sell the game and it'd be like, hey!
Now you have to buy this thing to be able to play online. So it was just kind of
Yeah.
trashy. No one liked it.
Well, who
like
would?
Most things with EA.
Yeah.
So yeah, they ditched it. Probably because they weren't making money. Definitely because stated by them, because no one liked it.
Yeah. So the article does go on to sort of take a couple shots at EA, which we've never really been known to do in the past. But basically, blah, 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 I've been a long-standing initially launched. Oh yeah, this is on Destructoid.com, just so you know, guys, if you want to go check out the whole article. EA remains committed to its other content plans, including buckets of downloadable extras and the packaging of games as services. So let's talk about downloadable extras. Are microtransactions going anywhere?
No.
Or are they ever going to
Well-
go away?
They're not going away. They're definitely going somewhere.
Why aren't they going away? Because if people hate it so much, how is it that game developers don't have to just stop doing it?
Because people hate it so much and continue to use it.
Right.
One thing is it makes unlimited.
We're looking at you.
It makes an almost unlimited ceiling for how much you can pay for the game.
Yep. And so it makes an almost unlimited ceiling for how much they can make on the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without being subscription based.
Yeah.
So you can pay at your own pace. So, you know, it's your birthday and you can treat yourself to some armor.
Or just visual.
Yep.
So it could be just cosmetic armor. So it could be a skin or whatever you call it in whatever game. One thing that I think is crazy is when things are subscription based and they have microtransactions, because then everyone that you have has a credit card. It's kind of an interesting idea because then you're not catering to all the people that will never pay anything for the game. You're only catering to people that are already invested in the game and already have the means to invest more because they have a credit card. So I think that'll be interesting if anyone can pull it off. I know Eve does it to a certain degree, but it's
Right.
not as heavy as other games do.
Yeah, so there you go, guys. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. If you don't like microtransactions and you don't like same-day downloadable content and all
Don't
that
buy
kind of
it.
stop buying it. It's like what else can you really compare it to? I don't know. It's like complaining about EA releasing a new NHL game every year and like, do you own one? There you go. I haven't bought a sports game since 1994. Oh crap, no, I bought one. I bought 2004 NHL. Okay, so I bought two
used
sports
to-
games in 20 years.
I used to know an EA employee, so I would get them for $10.
So I'm part of the problem.
So I don't think I can.
You're part of the problem too. You gave EA $10.
That's true. So the last time I did that was 2005.
Okay, let's flay him alive. Back to Twitter.
Before that was Blitz for, what was that, N64?
Seriously?
NFL Blitz. Blitz was amazing. It was so
Okay.
much fun. There was no like actual tactics. Just like grab the guy closest to the guy with the ball and just spam hit. And just a lot of people are going to get injured. And it's going to be awesome.
Alrighty there. Jenny from the block figures you're a regulation hottie.
I don't even necessarily know what that
First time
means.
live, hello!
Yay.
A 955 is going to bottleneck that card, yes. I'm hearing, and all I hear is, EA, give us a chance. We won't do anything to mess with you. Well, yes. You sell X number of copies. You need servers to run X number of games sold. Game trades hands. Same amount of server space used. Oh, okay. Eduardo's saying that, like, yeah, okay.
Twitter, 140 characters.
Yeah, I think it's a Twitter issue here. So basically that there's no justification for EA charging more because the actual load
it's
on
not
the server
increasing. Okay,
isn't
okay.
increasing.
Yeah.
Watching on 120-inch, I'm almost afraid to click on this, but I'm gonna do it. Yeah,
Whoa.
very nice.
That's beast.
Very nice. 120-inch TV. That's like actually, wow, that's huge. I think that's
Are you
almost
sure it's a TV?
4 times the size of mine. Oh, it must be a projector.
I'm pretty sure that's a projector.
Must be a projector.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, okay. Which isn't to say that there aren't 120-inch TVs. It's just that most people don't have them.
And it doesn't look like one.
And it doesn't look like a TV. That is another thing that is a factor. All right, so I don't know how to go back in here. But at any rate, we're back.
Guys, 1 second. Twitch chat, does the screen keep on going black for you? Kind of every once in a while? That's happening on my screen as I'm monitoring Twitch. I'm just trying to figure out if that's actually happening to everyone else.
Nope.
Apparently nope.
Apparently
All right,
not. So
we're
the
good.
problem is you. Why do you always monitor the stream?
Because
You
I
know,
want to see if it's live or not.
yeah, but you know it's going to affect our bandwidth, right? Which increases the chance of it going down.
See, the one time I was on a different network, that was the first time I did it.
Okay,
I forgot
well.
to switch this time.
At any rate, hi bro, which case 200R or Cooler Master half? They're very different. For an MATX board, well, neither. Get the new 350D from Corsair. Is there any way to implement a classified section in the forum for used hardware? We're looking into it in the future. Honestly, and I hope you guys don't take this the wrong way, but the way that we'd like to implement it is so that there's some kind of contribution back to the forum with it. So maybe it costs $1 to list things. We're hoping that this will do 2 things. One is it'll help support the forum, and 2 is that it will prevent spamming, because the one thing, actually, this is extremesystems.org charges to sign up for their forum at all now. And what they've discovered is that spammers are not willing to spend money. They won't risk any money to spam and to scam people.
And we don't want to charge people to join the forum, but we are worried about people abusing the crap out of classifieds
Yeah.
because it happens a lot.
It happens so much, and it increases the load on the moderation team in a huge way because there's always some dispute or something. And honestly, the moderation team is probably too small right now to begin with.
They're amazing, but
Yes, they're
a little
awesome.
bit too small.
So
And for people wondering about becoming a moderator, we are moving. The way I do it is I make sure everyone is trained up before I recruit anyone new. So we're currently in a training process.
okay, so let's move on to our next topic here, which is oh yeah, I'll let you cover this one as well. So this is from the BBC.
So this is good or bad.
Wow, this is terrible.
This is pretty much terrible.
How can this be good?
If
Who is this good for?
If you hate Nintendo, but I don't know anyone who hates Nintendo.
I hate Nintendo.
I literally don't know anyone who hates Nintendo. It's impossible to hate Nintendo. Anyways, there's probably someone out here that likes this. But EA was just like, oh yeah, you're not entirely successful? Dropped.
Wow.
So we had one good news item for them. One good news item.
Yeah, so the Wii has sold only 3.4 million units from an anticipated 4 million units so far, which means it's not hitting its sales target by, looks like, what, about 15, 20%? Something along those lines. So that's bad. And then on top of that, in spite of the fact that EA had launch titles ready to go for Wii U, including Mass Effect 3, FIFA 13, and Need for Speed Most Wanted, they have completely decommitted doing any. They have said, we have no developers working on Wii U titles. We're not precluding ever making another Wii U title.
But it's definitely not going to be these ones, and they're pretty major labels.
And so it was Battlefield 4, Madden, and FIFA are not coming to the Wii U. And
Although
I mean,
they've already made one FIFA game, so I guess they're not not continuing with that.
Not continuing with FIFA, which is just, wow. I mean, at what point does Nintendo just go the Sega route and become a game dev? Start licensing Mario.
Maybe Mario, yeah. Because Mario's still in the top, I think it's top 5 for best-selling games. Like,
Yeah.
currently best-selling games. So Nintendo does amazingly well on handhelds. That's another thing people are ignoring. There's a chart recently released, there we go, but I think it was Ubisoft, going like top 20 selling games right now. Or I think it was last quarter or something. And Nintendo was in there for Mario, but nothing else. But then it was also stated that if they included portables, Nintendo would have been in there multiple times.
Right.
So Nintendo is still doing okay, it's just not their console.
But here, okay, you know what? I'm gonna sort of go on a tangent here, sort of. Actually, no, I'm just going to lead into one of our other topics, which is that Project Shield, NVIDIA's handheld Android-based gaming console, has a 720p screen, supports some really cool features, including streaming from a GeForce-equipped desktop located within the vicinity. So it uses Wi-Fi to actually stream the gameplay from a computer that's being used to power it. So you could run games on an Android handheld like Hawken that don't stand a chance of running on a Tegra 3 or a Tegra 4 or a Tegra 5 or whatever kind of Tegra, because it's actually powered by a GTX Titan somewhere else in the house. And all you're doing is beaming the actual images to and from the handheld device. So with stuff like that coming down the pipe, so what was the pre-order? Was it $449? Crap.
I don't remember.
I can't remember how much it was anymore. Twitch chat, help me out here. How much does Project Shield cost? So pre-orders are up for people who have been following Project Shield. What does this mean for handheld? If you could have, with how many games are available on Android, with how much development is going to continue to be thrown at it, even with like just completely devastating projects like, oh crap, what was that stupid console called?
Ouya?
Yeah, like the Ouya. Even though that was just an utter disaster, it's not like it's slowing down. Everyone wants Android to be a viable gaming platform.
Looks about $350.
$350, sorry, yeah. So that's a fantastic deal. It's not that much more expensive than something like a Nintendo.
And 3DS bombed because 3D was not the right technology for them to go for. But doesn't make a difference because they're still doing great. And one thing with Project Shield too is if you're going to carry Project Shield around, I don't think that's going to slip into your pocket. A DS,
Not that bulky.
it's still
Okay,
a controller.
yes.
It's not going to slip into your pocket.
It's
if you have
not-
some sort of bag, any kind of bag, purse, bag,
Okay.
whatever, you've got it. It's not going to slip into your pocket.
Okay, that's true.
A DS will slip into your pocket.
I did carry a DS Lite around with me for a long time until it broke.
It's doable. It's a little bulky, but it's
Yeah.
still doable. Project Shield is not.
Okay, fine then. How about this? What about the possibility of carrying around something like a SteelSeries Free, which is that little Bluetooth controller, and then a more normal Android device? Then,
Yeah,
like
definitely.
what-
Especially like big phones, like
5 years from now, when a phone is delivering just an insane amount of horsepower. So here, okay, couple things. Oh, this is going to lead into another topic that I wasn't sure if I wanted to get into yet. But, okay, so the Galaxy S4, beautiful device, awesome device. The BOM cost, so for those of you who aren't familiar, the bill of materials cost of the Galaxy S4 is estimated by IHS to be $237. That includes a 1080p AMO LED screen, that includes a Snapdragon S600, that includes 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of storage, and an operating system that is very viable as a gaming platform, communications platform. Honestly, the sky's the limit for what Android can do in the future. Okay, now think about this for a minute. The actual cost of the Galaxy S4, then, obviously, isn't in the materials. It's in the R&D that goes
R&D,
into it.
definitely.
It's into the R&D, it's in the distribution, it's in the software development, it's in all this other stuff. So riddle me this. Is that why when you go to a cell phone provider's store, the Galaxy S4 is $199 with contract, and the cheapest phone they have is free? Because actually, it doesn't cost that much less to make a cheap phone. Because you still have to buy all that crap. It's not like a 720p screen costs that much more than a 1080p screen. Like, it might cost half as much, or twice as much for a 1080p one, but when we're talking $35 versus $17, or when we're talking $60 versus $30, in the grand scheme of things, it's not actually that much. So if everyone already has an Android device that's as powerful as anything Nintendo can make and try to sell you for $199 or $249 as a dedicated gaming device, what chance could they possibly stand when they have to do all the R&D anyway? They're not going to be able to be competitive on price because people can get all this subsidized stuff anyway. They're not going to be online because Nintendo apparently doesn't understand online gameplay at all.
No, they just don't. At all.
I mean, is handheld even going to be a business for them in 5 years?
That's a very good point, because when you spend a whole bunch of money on the phone that you're going to buy anyways, and then you're in the store and you're like, oh, I should check out one of these Nintendo jobbers. Oh, wait, I can do everything on my phone already.
Yep.
Why would you actually buy one?
And would there be more money in it for Nintendo to figure out how to microtransaction out something like Mario Kart? Speaking of microtransactions, would you buy a new cart for Mario Kart? It was like really sweet.
If it's cool enough, honestly, maybe. I don't do microtrans that much, but sometimes.
But once in a while...
If it's cool enough, if it's very
Yep.
iconic, if it's something super nostalgic, I might pick it up.
Yes, like if they had like an 8-bit cart.
Probably.
See?
Yeah.
Right?
There's a few different things.
So
they can do.
maybe Android will be a possibility for Nintendo in the
Maybe.
future.
Yeah,
Maybe they don't do their own hardware anymore.
They've always been known, like, except for their super old consoles, they've always been known for their titles anyways.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, N64 was not a groundbreaking console hardware-wise at all.
Not really.
I think we can all agree Wii wasn't. GameCube sure
Or
wasn't.
Wii U.
Wii U is like, it has a screen on the controller.
Yeah.
I think we're a couple generations of battery technology away from that actually being a thing.
Yeah. Oh, this is not a topic on the live stream, so I'll save it for next week. Never mind, continue.
So anyway, I think the future is Android devices. I don't know that Project Shield is necessarily the answer, but remember, we talked last week about the Galaxy S4 Zoom, which is Samsung's camera with a phone built into it.
Yep.
Rather than a phone with a camera built into it. What about the potential for a Shield 2 that's a phone?
Yep. And
Why
another
not?
thing with Shield is
What if it was a stock Android experience phone that was also a gaming device with a built-in controller and could stream from your GeForce graphics card? Would you buy it?
very possibly.
If it was slightly slimmer?
Because, okay, the couch gaming experience, even though I'm a PC gamer, is still a thing.
Yes.
Just when I do it, it's usually super classic consoles on games that I found at crazy retro stores. But, like, I understand there's a ton of people out there that have DSs. This is another thing that I'm surprised you didn't throw back at me, is a ton of people have DSs and they never leave the house. The reason why they have the
Yeah.
DS is so that they can kind of move around within their house. They can play it in the kitchen. They can play it
In the bath.
in the bath. They can play
Whatever.
it while they're hanging out on the couch. That is actually a huge use case for portable devices. It's not actually leaving the house. So
Yes. My tablet never leaves the house.
yeah, so Shields will totally dominate that section.
I think so too. Actually, it's going to be
Completely
awesome.
dominate.
I mean, streaming video to it. You know, when maybe you're not playing games, maybe you're on the can, you just want to watch a video, YouTube, whatever
Oh,
else.
yeah.
Holy crap, Shield's going to be awesome.
It's going to destroy so
And
much.
the ergonomics of it is actually more comfortable than even for watching video. I would make an argument that you should watch on a Project Shield, not on your phone.
Of course, phones are weird.
Phones are not comfortable.
No. Not for like holding like this for an extended period of time, because also usually the screen comes really close to the edge.
Yes.
I don't know if it's probably still a problem for you, but thumbs
Not as much of a problem for me. Mine
But-
are small. But
still often cover up a little bit of the screen.
have you seen the Galaxy S4? It's the same form factor as the S3, right? And it goes almost to the bezel
Yeah.
because there's almost no bezel on it because it's a 5-inch screen versus a 4.7-inch screen,
Which is great.
which
but
is
then-
exactly like what you're talking
But
about.
then if you're watching a movie holding it like this, you're covering up part of the screen. And like the speakers always suck unless they're like yours, but even then if you're holding it like this, you're covering up the speakers.
I've had a lot of people tell me they think Project Shield's ridiculous. And a lot of the comments on my Project Shield coverage from CES would indicate that they felt like it was ridiculous. I totally disagree. I
think
disagree
once it's-
100%, and I have since day one.
I completely disagree as well, and I think once it's released, it'll be fine. I think part of the reason is I usually bat for this team as well, but it's a whole bunch of PC gamers that have no interest in going and sitting on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can play casual PC titles,
Yep.
so not stuff that I'm going to be playing most of the time when I'm sitting at my computer,
Racing games.
but if I get a racing, exactly,
Yep.
if I get a racing game or something like that I would honestly plug a controller into my computer for anyways, racing games, sometime action adventures, stuff like that, I could just go lay on the couch and play it on my portable.
And it unifies the experience because all of a sudden, instead of buying a game for my Xbox if I want to play it on the big screen, or friggin' like hauling my computer down next to the TV, come on guys, put up your hand. Have you done it? I've done it. See, right? which is ridiculous.
I did it for like 2 weeks once.
Unifying the platform so you only have to buy the game once to have a PC experience, a handheld experience, and a big screen experience.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was so excited with Steambox.
Which is a big deal. So yeah, that's very exciting. And apparently I have an email that's actually really important. So go ahead, talk about whatever you want.
We just finished a topic. Anyways, I'm going to jump into the topic that I was going to say for next week, which is phone technology. I personally don't think is like acceptable at all right now.
Really?
I kind of think all phones suck.
This one?
Yep.
What sucks about it?
Battery.
Okay. Okay, so yes, battery technology is so far off.
What's going on?
You know what? My first cell phone had about a 3-day battery. My second cell phone was a Nokia that lasted for like 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
And that was with gaming on it. I played Snake.
Nice. Snake was awesome. Yes. But like, what the heck? Years ago and now, constantly people coming out going, "Oh, there's new battery technology. It's going to make your phone last for a month." Blah blah blah. And then you hear nothing. Nothing
Yeah,
happens.
weren't they talking about putting like fuel cells in phone at one point?
They were doing tons of stuff, and none of it ever happens.
Yeah.
I don't want my phone to last for a day anymore.
Right. Why do we accept it? Because you know what? It's funny because that was one of the reasons I held off on getting a smartphone. Was because even my BlackBerry sort of smartphone, but like it was an older one. It was like an 8000 series or something like that. So it had like a color screen, which was a big deal. It still had like the scroll wheel. It wasn't touchscreen, nothing like that. So even that one lasted for 2 days, 2.5, maybe 3 days. And one of the reasons I held off for a long time, I didn't get a smartphone, like a touchscreen smartphone, until iPhone 4. And so I held off because I was like, well, I don't want to charge my phone every day.
Yeah.
But for some reason, now I'm used to it. Now I accept it. And I expect the actual technological improvements will not be made on batteries, but will be made on things like wireless charging. So we'll get to the point where instead of carrying around battery banks with you, your phone has a wireless charger built into the dash. Or your phone, your car.
car, yeah.
Your car has a wireless charger built into the dash. Your room, your bedroom, has a wireless charger that
Somewhere
handles
on
the whole
wall
room
or
somehow.
something, yeah.
And then your backpack, you can carry a battery bank, that is a wireless charger. Just make sure your phone's somewhere near it, and you'll be constantly charging up your device. They'll have to figure out a way to make them pair in some way that's secure so people can't sap your power or whatever else. But I think that's actually where we're headed in order to extend battery life. Because if you could be charging your phone somewhat, or like if you dropped your backpack next to a wall wart when you walk in, and it charged that, and then you kept your phone in your pocket close enough to your backpack if you're at school, and it charged your phone, you might actually still be able to go days without charging your phone.
This could be an opportunity for a wireless charging battery maker to develop a backpack and then sell the whole solution.
The whole solution could be a viable commercial product. Okay, so if anyone's out there watching this idea, we want a 10% royalty.
Yep, just like everything else we bring
There you
up
go.
on the
Just
screen.
like everything else we bring up on the screen. Because honestly, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think turning wireless charging into something that's all around you, as opposed to something that's like Samsung. I think they want like what they want, like $70 for it or something like that, or $60 for like the little thing.
the plate
And
thing?
then you put the thing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the plate. I'm just like, well, no, it's not there yet. And I know that there's a reason that it costs money because it's still
Yeah.
expensive. But if we can get to the point where that technology improves enough that your phone actually just lasts for days without you ever even thinking about it, that's probably the solution.
But like, okay, I jumped on the smartphone game late as well as you. I jumped in with the Nexus S. Before then, I would have slider phones. I always liked slider phones.
Slider phones are stupid.
But it would last for like a week.
Yeah, but it's a slider. I mean, they're so flimsy, all of them.
Not the one I had.
Which one did you have?
I don't remember the name of it. But
Oh, okay.
it was like seriously bulky. I would throw it constantly. It came into a lake with me. Like, the thing was a beast. I don't know if it was that one that was just specifically durable or what, but I had one slider phone. I guess I shouldn't say I always had
I always had
phones.
slider phones. Yeah, I had
always
like
had-
16 slider
I-
phones
well,
because they all broke.
I had one phone before a smartphone. I was never really that into phones. So I had my slider phone.
I had more phones because I'm just older than you.
Yay. But that thing would last for like a week. I would barely ever charge it. Every once in a while, it'd be like beep beep. I'm like, oh, I guess I'll leave it on overnight, and then it'll be good for a week again.
Speaking of battery life, you know what ticks me off about Android? You know how like your phone will buzz when something comes in? The screen doesn't turn on.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy. So like my phone will buzz, I'll be like, because I'm used to iPhone. With an iPhone, your notifications are all there whenever a new notification comes in. That drives me absolutely nuts.
I
And I
like
know it's bad
that.
for battery life.
I like that because I set up the LED indicator on my S3 to tell me what notification I got. You can change notification colors in your different apps.
Yeah.
So I have different colors for every type of notification that I've gotten. So I always know. I don't have to have the screen tell me, just the little LED thing tells me.
Well, I don't know. I like because I get a lot of tweets and stuff. So when something comes in, I like being able to glance at it, see if it's important, and then put it down. Although, yeah, my screen would be on pretty much constantly.
And there's probably some app.
So speaking of battery technology, wow, we're on a segue roll today because
Yes. Very good. That's not a slow clap. That's just a one person.
I've actually made that joke on the live stream before, but you were probably sleeping. So this topic right here, where did this go? Yes. So this was a community contributed news item, and it is dun, 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 the Chevy Volt turned into a whole house UPS. So rather than recycle old hybrid electric and EV batteries, which can be quite costly, GM and ABB have modeled a prototype for a house/small building UPS. This allows batteries that have not quite... Okay, so it's from Extreme Tech, and the forum member who contributed this is Ol720. So this allows them to create around a 25 kilowatt hour UPS, which is capable of running an average American home for almost a day. In addition to that, it has the added benefit of meaning, less waste and less cost in recycling. It has the other benefit of acting as a blah, 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 blah. Yes, smoother power, surge protection, and protection from outages, which is really cool. I think this is the smartest thing ever. They ship them on a pallet, so they could actually lift them in for disasters.
Oh, that's really cool.
Right?
That's very, very cool.
I was like, this is like the smartest thing ever. Because if you're going to develop this battery technology, that finally someone's developing some battery technology for something, even if we're not seeing it for our smartphones.
Seriously.
So car battery technology, this is like the smartest way of using something that was at the end of its useful life cycle that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, Tesla's been making some pretty awesome waves.
It would allow you to, okay, so
Or
you
Chevy
could use
Volt,
it,
I guess.
you could use it to power lights and rescue equipment in disasters. You could use it in place of a generator for things like events. I mean, imagine this. Instead of hauling around like a diesel generator for something like a parade or something like a video shoot, if you could rent one of these where they just drop it off on a flatbed and it's like,
Got a day worth of power.
you've got, well, remember, it runs an average American house for a day.
Right.
So if you're running like cameras and
well,
like...
if you have a whole bunch of lights.
Yeah, okay, right, lights. Okay, fair enough. So you drop off a couple of them or a bank of them for a shoot.
Oh my goodness.
That's cool, right?
That'd
And
be
they
awesome.
wouldn't make any noise, unlike what generators can do, although there are quiet ones that are designed purpose-built for that. But I don't know, I think it's really, really cool.
Do you know, because I know Tesla is doing the easily removable batteries now in the car. Do you know if they're going to be doing something like this?
No idea.
No idea.
No idea. Although I did see my first car charging station in Vancouver last weekend. It was at Guildford Mall. They had 2 specific spots for electronic vehicles.
That's cool.
They're color-coded green. They have little charging stations. They ask you to limit your stay to 2 hours. I was someone tweeted me. I thought this would be pretty funny. And you should see if you can find someone with a Hummer and get them to park there. Just like take a picture.
See what happens.
It'd be awesome.
I have a buddy that has a Volt. It's actually a pretty cool car.
Yeah, have you tried driving it?
I have not driven it personally, but I've been in the car quite a bit.
Okay.
It's kind of eerie. It has a pedestrian horn. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard
So it's
of
not
that.
super loud. So if someone's like right in front of you and they can't hear you, you can be like, "Hey, get out of the way," because the car doesn't make really any noise.
Right.
So you have to have some way of warning people that isn't like the normal insanely loud horn.
I've always thought that like car horns should have more options. Like if there was a code, like you know how
Road rage.
particularly in the old days, and I mean like 10 years ago, because I'm not that old, but when I first started driving, you know what? Every speed trap on the road, we didn't have to rely on Waze or Google Maps, because people were courteous. When there was a speed trap, the people coming the other way would flash their beams at you. Come on, where did that go? Why don't we do that anymore? It's helpful. Jeez. So what, now I have to have an app on my phone, so I'm like this to find out if I'm gonna get, I'm gonna get a ticket for doing this now. Never mind that. And
Linus
yes.
doesn't speed at all.
What?
What?
So I mean, come on, guys, this is ridiculous. You know what's funny? I actually only drive like twice a week now.
You drive twice a week?
On the weekends, yeah, I'll drive. I usually drive when the wife and I go somewhere.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So so what happened to common courtesy? And I always thought cars needed more ways to communicate with other drivers, because the problem with the horn is it's angry sounding.
Yep.
What about a polite honk? Like, why don't you have a different option? Why isn't there like a beep beep?
You should have flashable red lights on the front of your car, because red light won't make your eyes freak out.
Yeah, like communication devices on cars.
Yeah.
I always wanted, like, it's one of those things where if I'd had, like, money to just blow on absolutely nothing, I might have done it at some point. But I always wanted, like, an LED array in the back window so I could put up little messages.
Oh my god.
Thanks for not tailgating, you know?
Would that even, could you get in trouble?
I don't think so. It should be okay.
That would be epic.
That'd be hilarious. Would love that.
By the way,
It must exist.
Check out linustechtips.com.
What?
Put it on the back of your thing.
Oh, yeah, Linus
Thanks for not
Texas.com.
tailgating, by the way. It would be cool if you could actively hook it up to a laptop.
If you hate my driving, go complain about it on linustechtips.com. It helps my website traffic. Yeah!
Be awesome.
Someone says things like that exist. Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do. I just I've never actually seen one, and I've certainly never bought one. So let's do a little bit of Twitter Q&A, guys. I know we've kind of ignored y'all. My Volt news apparently dates back from November. Whatever. I hadn't heard of it, so there. Different countries have different horns, even on the same cars. That I actually have encountered.
I had no idea.
But what I want is one car with multiple horns.
Yeah.
What's up with the Twinkie box on your wall? It was sent by a live stream viewer who Slick and I both said we'd never tried a Twinkie. So the viewer sent us a box. Most of the Twinkies are still in there. So we're going to try them again in a year to see if they're
Really?
still good.
I was not aware of this.
My dad wants me to build him an extreme gaming business PC with a 2.5K budget. He wants a 3970X.
Just get a K.
Tell me to invest in Tasker? Yeah, as if I have any money.
What? Oh, yeah. It's a cool app.
Is it? What's it
Yeah.
do?
I don't actually remember. I think it's like a task manager for your phone.
Oh.
I had it on my Nexus S, but it's been so long.
Maybe it's a setting, because Tom says his S3 turns on the screen, vibrates, and does the notification LED. Windows Phone turns the screen on when you get a notification as well. Yes, that's true. That's one of the things that I didn't appreciate about Windows Phone because I didn't notice it because I assumed they all did that. Because I'd come from iPhone.
Yay, Kyle.
LG Cosmos, very nice.
See, they're kind of beasts, and for some reason, their batteries always lasted forever.
Did Nintendo claim and place ads in? We're going to talk about that in the after party, John. We are aware of this. So Nintendo has been claiming monetization from game streamers who are streaming Nintendo games. So we're going to talk about it later.
While we're streaming it.
I'm not going to say that.
Wait, what?
But no, different thing.
Oh, okay.
So what you're saying is we have the technology. Yes, Mario is the live stream again. We're going till we're done. I know some people have asked us to change the game, whereas others have said they love the game. So we're going to do whatever we want, which is what I want. And we're going to play that game. We're going to play some Mario.
I love Mario, but I'm apparently terrible because I haven't done it forever.
Honestly, I'm up to the part where I'm having a little bit of trouble with it too. I think I took like 4 cracks at that fortress already.
I've gotten better a lot.
You're doing a lot better. I'm not doing quite as well. But, oh yeah, our USB to SNES adapter hasn't arrived from Amazon yet, but I have some really cool stuff that did arrive for us from B&H Photo Video.
Should we do it now?
Do what?
Take it over there.
No, I don't want to
Just to
unbox them.
troll
No, I'm
them?
just going to show them. No. We're not going. No. B-roll wants to be there when we open them. So why
Well,
don't? Huh?
Oh, I thought he was here.
Why don't you cover this?
What?
Here you go. Carry on. I'll be back.
Okay. What is this? Or should I do build logs?
Nah.
Nah.
You guys perfect.
S4, what is this? Okay, so Galaxy S4 is supposed to hit 10 million sales in about a week, which means a little bit under a month since release. That compares to S3 selling about 10 million in about 50 days. That's insane.
And for context, guys, S3 still is the #1 selling smartphone ever. So S4 looks like it's going to be even better.
Yeah, which is kind of nuts to me because yes, Samsung is doing a massive marketing push again. Huge. I read something like $410 million in US, which is nuts. But I haven't heard as much about it as the S3. The S3 was such a big debate. The iPhone versus S3 debate was huge, and there was so much going around about it. The S4, yeah, there's a lot going around about it, but most of it seems very, very, very Samsung funded instead of organic. So I did not think that the sales were going to be quite as high, but apparently they are, which is just absolutely insane. This was from CNET, news at CNET. If you just look up CNET, Samsung Galaxy S4 sales to hit 10 million next week. I haven't seen sale numbers for iPhone 5, so I can't compare it directly to iPhone 5's original month. If someone knows in Twitch chat, if you could fire that in Twitch chat, we can compare. Because S4 seems like it's just going to smash. Also, people that bought an S4, I don't know if this is here. Give me 1 second, guys. I actually don't see it, but there's going to be an S4 that is going to be updated by Google instead of Samsung that is on the Play Store, which is really interesting. I think it's $649 for an S4 on the Play Store where you get your updates from Google, and I believe it's unlocked. So that's interesting. That's actually quite intriguing because that's not that much money, realistically. A lot of the times they're around $900 for a new fancy phone. And updated by Google is a huge thing because that brings back my love for Nexus. Because Nexus, I had my Nexus S, and that thing would always get new updates the second Google was done with them. So that was awesome. Oh my goodness, all the things. Yeah, you can go this way.
Ow.
Oh, I thought you could go that way.
Oh, that hurt. Okay. So,
I haven't seen any of this stuff.
yeah, we got some pretty cool stuff in the mail from B&H, so we're We're upgrading our gear once again. If you guys have seen some of the latest videos we've done, so if you're not already subscribed to Tech Quickie, go subscribe now because we have a hilarious video on there, at least I think it's funny, about how to upgrade your Mac with a Samsung SSD.
It is funny.
Yeah, is it funny?
Yes,
okay, good.
it's funny.
I think it's funny. Anyway, so we want to continue to improve our production values, so we've got a few different things here that are going to help us. And guys, when I say improve our production values, I mean when it's not Slick or me operating the camera. Because we know. We suck. It's fine. We get it. So check this out. We got a Sekonic Lightmaster Pro, which is a light meter. Apparently, B-roll and Diesel insisted I had to buy one of these. It's like $500. So what this allows you to do is do more than just eyeball the lighting when you're setting up a shot, but this allows you to actually empirically measure the light in different places so you can make things look more better, supposedly. If they don't end up using this, like, I'll fire them both. Because, yeah, they were
Well, we have that thing now,
so
it just tells us
insistent.
what to do.
So insistent. We also got this, which is extremely exciting. This is the Small HD AC7. So right now, our camera has this little eeny-weeny little display on it that is just not acceptable.
So hard to use.
And it's ergonomic. It's an ergonomic nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
Because the camera is heavy, particularly with the lens on it, and then like the screen's like up here at the back, and it can turn to the side, and that's it. It's not on an articulating arm or anything like that. So unless you're holding the camera like in front of you like this somehow because you're made of magic, or you have like a Steadicam vest or something like that, it is completely horrible. You can't shoulder mount it because you can't see it. It's behind you. So the Small HD is... Dun, 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 dun.
We're gonna take it out.
No, I'm just gonna look at it.
Watch it hit that box and slide. Oh.
No, it's all good, it's all good. So the Small HD is a 7-inch screen. There's an OLED version, but we didn't get that one, that actually has some diagnostic stuff built in and is going to allow us to mount it to an arm, so you can see it has universal mounting here, so that you can shoulder mount the camera and have the screen stick out in front of you so you can actually see what you're doing. The other thing about the screen now is it's so small, it's really hard for us to figure out if things are in focus or not while we're
Very
filming. It's almost impossible. So this uses component HDMI inputs as well as, I think there's one more. Yeah, it has, oh, it looks like we didn't get the SDI version. Oh yeah, I think that one cost extra. Our camera supports SDI, but like, yeah, whatever. The other one was more expensive, and there's no real difference in image quality as far as we could tell. So there you go. We got a Small HD, which we are extremely excited about, and there's probably a bunch of exposure assist and all kinds of cool stuff. My phone's ringing right now. It's probably B-roll raging at me for opening it without him. All right, so what else we got?
Just keep on trucking up.
Shoulder rig.
Oh, I'm so excited for this.
So we got an FS700 shooter, which has a counterweight, so that when you mount the camera on your shoulder, it sits evenly, rather than just like hanging all the weight on your arms, which is what we did at CES. So we got this for Computex. This was $1,000. Yeah. Camera equipment is ridiculous. It's criminal how much this stuff costs.
If you can CNC things and you want to make all the money ever,
Yes.
make very basic camera equipment.
Yeah,
And
very
just get,
niche
like-
camera equipment. Be like the one guy who makes the weird adapter for like the one camera and
you'll
get
just
all the
make
money.
Buckets of money.
And like all these companies can afford to go to like these massive trade shows and show off their like stupid adapter that you're just like, okay, yeah, I guess. I mean, look at this. Look at this. I mean, this is the level of sort of like professional, and this is a pretty well-regarded brand. This is Zagudo. It comes with like paper inside. Like that's how it's packed. It's in bubble wrap. Like it's like dudes in their garages. It's like water cooling basically. Whoa, there's the counterweights.
Cool.
Those are heavy.
See, but like they're just weights.
I know. Here's an instruction
B-roll's gonna
manual.
be so upset because we're totally taking this out now.
Okay, we are taking this one out, but I wasn't planning to do an unboxing video of this one anyway, so anyway, so there's that. And then last but not least, for improving our audio quality yet again, not levels, just quality, this is a blimp, and I had no idea they were this big. So this covers your microphone and avoids any wind noise, avoids any vibration noise and handling noise and all that kind of cool stuff. So your microphone's like suspended on a bunch of stuff, and it's cool. And yeah, anyway, so there. That's all of our new gear that we're extremely excited about and will allow us to make even more better videos than we ever have before. In fact, our best video ever is not the Samsung Upgrade Your Mac video. That's the best one we've released. We have another one that's pending release. It's done. We're waiting for the manufacturer to give us the green light to unleash it on the world, and we are really, really excited.
I've been waiting for so long to that video to be able to go live. It's going to be really good.
Yeah. Both Slick and I are in it, but we also have actors.
Yep.
So this was our biggest production yet. And hold on. Is problem. Okay, I need my power adapter. Do you know where it is?
I think so.
Okay. Did you cover any more? Did you cover Windows 8.1?
Nope.
Okay, I'll talk about that. So guys, we finally have confirmation from Microsoft that there's been a lot of talk about Windows Blue or Windows 8.1 or whatever it's going to end up being. Is it going to be a new OS? Is it going to be an iteration? Is it going to be free? Is it going to be a service pack? Is it going to be maybe like a $20 upgrade or $30 upgrade, sort of like what Apple does with OS X, where they've been calling it OS X for an awful long time, to the point where I'm not even convinced it's the same operating system anymore, quite. Just, adding features and doing this and doing that and releasing them as incremental, smaller upgrades, in much the same way that Microsoft has traditionally done by charging more up front and doing service packs over time. So it looks like Windows 8.1 will be more like a service pack than anything else. They are implementing some new functionality. They are not charging for it as a standalone product. So it's just going to be adding a start menu. They are making some changes to the UI to make the modern UI more friendly for mouse users. The source for this was... Which one is this? The source for this one was Daily Tech, so here you go, guys. Check out the full article on Daily Tech. They are keeping the ARM variant, and it looks like guys like NVIDIA are still very committed to it, and it might be helped in some ways by some of the things that they're doing to unify the experience between Windows 8 and the Windows RT version.
Yep.
And honestly, I think probably the most important thing they're doing from a tablet perspective with Windows 8.1 is they are adjusting the modern UI so it'll work on 7 and 8-inch tablets. Because right now, the tablets that are cleaning up are devices like the Nexus 7. I mean, you can get a Nexus 7 refurb at NCIX US for $150.
Yeah.
Would you spend $300 plus on a Windows RT tablet at the point? Yes, it comes with Office, but given that the Nexus 7 is already going to do most of what you need it to do, and it's more portable anyway,
And you could use Google Docs.
10-inch tablet has always felt like a very awkward form factor for me. I do use my iPad a lot. I don't own a 7-inch tablet, and I'm not convinced that I would still use my iPad 2 if I had an iPad mini. What do you think?
Yeah, probably. I personally have never liked the tablet form factor at any point. I don't like minis. I don't like 7s. I don't like 10s. I don't like tablets.
What if you could have an 18.5-inch tablet? Asus has one.
No. I don't get it. I'm not into it at all. I do not like it. I kind of maybe understand.
I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like them in a house.
Like if you had like a communal home tablet, maybe.
Okay.
Just so like it can kind of sit on the coffee table by the couch and people can just like check things really quickly.
I do not want an Apple one. I do not think that they are fun.
Yes, I was trying to think of some way to incorporate Apple.
Yes.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you. So anyway, moving right along. So Windows 8.1 will be free. That will be good. It will tweak some things. Yes, so the start menu. I mentioned before the start menu is going to be added. Do you remember what the start menu does now?
It just goes to modern UI. So it does nothing.
Which it kind of already did.
And
you know what,
definitely
though?
already did.
Okay, you know what it'll fix for me, though? Because one of the things that actually drives me crazy is the way that I navigate to Device Manager, just by habit, is I right-click, Start Menu, Properties. Not having a Start Menu is like, oh my goodness, how do I get to Device Manager? I don't know how to do it anymore.
Will that work?
What?
It doesn't come up.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they, okay, if anyone from Microsoft is watching, Tim, if you're watching.
Is the right-click context menu still
Yeah,
there?
is the right-click context menu still on the Start Menu? Because if it's not, that's going to be a big problem for me, anyway.
Well, you'll probably still be installing a third-party app anyways.
We've got someone on Twitch saying anyone who doesn't like Windows 8 didn't give the full retail version a chance.
I definitely gave it a pretty big chance. So,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Its speed in games is nice.
Yep.
Network transfer, look, nice. Task manager, nice. Permissions, not nice. Any integration with modern UI whatsoever at all in any amount, not nice. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, modern UI is apparently becoming more mouse friendly. Oh, I think I already said that
Yeah,
earlier.
but I didn't have too much of a problem with the mouse in it.
Yeah, that's not the issue for me. I mean, the issue for me is density. I've always wanted my computer to have more data density, not less, because I see well, and bigger mouse movements to me are not more efficient. So that was why I wanted a 30-inch 2560 by 1600 monitor, is because I wanted all of my icons and all of my text smaller. Now, modern UI takes that and makes it so that instead of having a start menu that's got all these little like densely packed things, like I use detail view when I am browsing files, because I want all those file names as long as possible, as much as I can read, and I want to know how big they are, and I want to know when they were last modified, and these are all things that I actually care about when I'm using my computer. And modern UI doesn't help me with any of that. It doesn't give me enough information. And reducing the density is never going to work for me, no matter what, unless I'm on a tablet, in which case, yay.
My biggest problem with modern UI is, okay, Windows 7. I have a whole bunch of things open. I'm monitoring a few things. I'm possibly watching a video. I've got chats open. I'm doing all this stuff. I press start on Windows 7 and a little menu comes up.
Yeah.
I can do my stuff really quickly
Yep.
while doing everything else. I press start on Windows 8. Boom, everything's gone.
Bye-bye everything.
My whole current experience is completely interrupted and stopped, put to a complete halt, so that I can take too long to find whatever I'm finding because of huge blocky icons or the search being filtered into
Yep.
3 different types of results. Then I get to finally go back into the experience that I was having before.
With that said, if I was using touch on the computer, like I am with this notebook,
Then that's fine.
I like Windows 8 on
Yep.
my touch notebook, on my Aspire S7.
But that's a touch experience.
And I don't know, could I be convinced at some point? You know what? I could be convinced at some point to have a touch-enabled desktop, but not necessarily because I would use touch all the time on it, but because kids growing up, my son is going to hardly know, what a screen that doesn't have a touch interface on it is like. He will expect to be touching things in order. So for people who use that more naturally, yeah, I think it'll come eventually, and I think Windows 8 does make sense for that at some point in the future. Now, I actually should have done this earlier, and guys, bear with me here, but I got to run an ad. So I'm going to explain what the ad is really quickly first, because it might not be completely explanatory. The ad itself, that is. So in the US and Canada, if you buy an Intel processor, a qualifying one from a qualifying retailer, and the list will be in the description under the live archive video. It's also in some of my other videos, but most of the major guys online, then you get a free subscription to iRacing.com, which is a hyper-realistic racing sim. And now I'm just going to transition into the ad because I basically just said everything that was in it. But I have to play this anyway. For a limited time only, buy an Intel Core i5 or Core i7 CPU and get a free 3-month subscription to iRacing.com. Available from participating retailers. Click the link in the video description for more details.
Some guy's like,
Yay! It worked!
yay!
Yay!
That's the second time, right?
Someone says unsubscribed. Whatever, man. And there's nothing you can do about ad block if we like embed an ad. So there you go. Good luck with that. And for those of you who use ad block on our content, come on, man. How are we supposed to eat exactly?
It's actually a problem. We cater to the techie people who know how to run ad block, so equivalent channels can eat and we can't. And it's like, oh.
It's actually kind of depressing that like makeup channels that have like a quarter as many views as us, apparently they're doing it as a full-time job. I'm like, really?
Because none of those people have ad block. All of our fans are like, yeah, screw you guys.
Ad block! Yay, I don't have to watch ads. It's like, good for you, but come on, really? With that said, I don't sit and watch YouTube ads.
No, but don't sit and watch YouTube.
I don't have ad block.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll skip them most of the time, but you know what? I think it still counts as a semi impression or something. Like I think because okay, the ones that pop up from here. You know what? I don't remember the rules anymore. But moving right along, ad block sucks. Ooh, yeah, Facebook. This is interesting.
Yeah.
So this is, honestly, it's not the deepest analysis of, Facebook's IPO and the whole public offering and all the stuff that's been going on over the last year. But what it is it's just kind of a neat, very high-level view of sort of what's happened over the last little while here. And the page is loading really funny.
If you right-click on this and click View Image, it'll show properly.
Okay, View Image.
There you go.
Okay, so check this out, guys. So here's after a jittery half-hour delay caused... Oh, so this source is qzprod.file. Oh, no, that's wrong. Wait, where is this from? Yeah, qz.com. There we go. So after a jittery half-hour delay caused by textile, stock begins trading, closing up 0.6% on huge volume. Okay, shares fall nearly 20% in the next 2 days. As people realize, what's happened here. Stock tanks another 20% before and after Facebook's week first earnings report. Early investors and insiders can sell right here, and stock drops 10% from August 16th to August 17th. I really feel for anyone, actually I don't really feel for anyone who invested in Facebook, because you probably should have known better. I sure did, and I wasn't following it at all. Okay, view image. Next up, we've got, company says Zuckerberg won't sell stock for at least next 12 months, but notes that employees may sell from October 29th. Stock hits record low, 1773. And it's been better since then, but it's very rocky. This is not a roller coaster that I would get on. Second earnings release, as public company just barely beats expectations, shares dumped 19% the next day. Honestly, this is the crazy thing about playing stocks to me. It's like, investor confidence somehow has something to do with the value of a company? Are you crazy? Okay, all the respect in the world for AMD. I love those guys. Everyone I know there, great guys. But, the fact that they lost less money than they expected causes their stock to skyrocket. It's like, what? They're actually still not making money.
Beating a goal, good job, but you still failed.
And I mean, yes, I understand that it means they're turning things around and there's potential they could pay out dividends at some point and all that stuff, but there's a whole lot of just short-term gains and short-term losses that get made on pure speculation that has nothing to do with anything. Speaking of which, we're going to talk about Bitcoin a bit later. So moving on to, I keep closing instead of going back. So we're going to move into the next quarter, which actually looks a little bit better. Here we go. So the article actually has a bit of an inflammatory title, how Facebook basically pissed away $40 million of value in a year. So, okay, so from then on, the graph search feature announced, market shrugs. So there's a little bit of bias in this particular article here. So take it with a grain of salt.
They're kind of right, though.
They're kind of right, but, that...
They're still kind of right.
Yes, they may be right.
It even had a shrug thing. It was
Yeah.
There was oh.
Okay, here's the last one, guys. So Facebook Home for smartphones announced. Yeah, it kind of shrugged again. Earnings report reassures investors. Stock up 5.6% the next day. So whatever they may be doing over there, sort of whatever business decisions that they're making. Okay, number one, I don't think Mark Zuckerberg cares anymore.
At all.
At all, because I think he's kind of set for life. But it's just kind of... Okay, so two things. How did they drop $40 billion in value? Okay, there have probably been some missteps along the way. How did anyone think it was ever worth $104 billion? That's the one that really sort of boggles my mind.
All the day one investors, the amount of people that I heard, family, friends and stuff, be oh yeah, I invested in Facebook, that's awesome. I'm no, it's not.
I know people who did too.
Yeah.
I know people who are still in.
What?
Yeah, I knew someone who I was after 2 days, after it dropped 20%, I was get out. No, it's a long-term play. I'm no, it isn't. So for all the viewers there who are...
Sell it now, eat beans for a month, you'll be okay.
Yeah. And for those of you who think I'm not monitoring the Twitch chat and telling Slick to scare me, it's not going to work.
Or hit you.
Because I am monitoring the Twitch chat.
Or ruffle your hair like a dog. That was a recent one.
Yeah, that's...
No.
Is it... Okay, so speaking of Bitcoin, here we go. This is another article on Quartz. This is a long article. So Bitcoin's Black Hat Bitcoin's days are numbered. The anonymity looks like it's probably going to be going away. The U.S. government seized accounts that the Japan-based Mt. Gox, the world's largest Bitcoin exchange, held at its U.S. bank. Now, I'm not going to get into too much detail about it because apparently I bored some of you with that last thing. But it's not an attack from the U.S. government on Bitcoin.
No.
It's an attack on anonymous trading that's being used to launder money and turn from Bitcoin into other currencies ill-gotten gains. And so what's going to be happening is they are going to be mandating that all Bitcoin exchanges are going to be regulated by the same laws that regular money exchanges do. So they have to be putting in place safeguards that whatever's going in and out is not being done in a way that it could be laundering money. They have to be watching for people trying to circumvent the system. And this is going to do a couple of things. It's going to, I believe, legitimize Bitcoin in a big way that wasn't going to happen without this. If Bitcoin was always this like black market currency with anonymity on its side, yeah, the internet might love that, but come on, guys, really?
And it
not going to work.
It could have worked to a certain degree if it stayed small. Yeah, if it stayed small,
but
it blew up, and it's out of the hands of the people that wanted to keep it that way.
They wanted it, like anyone who wanted it to be big could not have possibly expected it to stay anonymous forever. Come on, guys. So I believe this is going to legitimize it in a big way because it's going to be regulated and it's going to be able to be trusted in ways that it couldn't before. I mean, that Australian Bitcoin exchange, relatively small one, but any Yahoo could have a Bitcoin exchange because these laws are going to make it so you have to put a significant amount of overhead and administration behind being a Bitcoin exchange. But before any guy could have a Bitcoin exchange, that guy made off like a bandit. He just closed shop and disappeared with people's Bitcoins back when they were worth like a fortune. When they went over like $200 or something around that time.
Probably bailed as fast as he could and it's just rolling in money now.
And so I personally, I've been a skeptic about Bitcoin, and one of the things that made me extremely skeptical about it was the anonymity. It's like, it's never going to be legitimate if it's treated like something that's just this illegal currency.
So Mt. Gox has come out, or whatever, has come out saying we are going to investigate this. I tried to go to the website and I was just getting white paged, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that right now, but they might be back up. But they are going to investigate it. They are going to keep on going. But then there's the other exchange. I don't remember the name. Coin something?
Oh, yeah.
Coin
I
Hub
remember
or
something
Coin...
like that. It's in the article, right?
Yeah, it's in the article somewhere. Coin something who is backed by a lot of capital.
Yes.
And they're
Coin Lab.
Right here.
Or Coin Lab. So they have already put pressure on Mt. Gox with a
$75 million lawsuit.
Yeah, over a proposed partnership gone sour. And CoinLab, as well as Coinbase, are both registered as money transmitters already, putting a lot of pressure on Mt. Gox. There's potential that they're just going to kind of
just take it,
peter out at this point, and they're just going to take over because normal people, especially with some of the disasters that have happened with Bitcoin, are going to want the security of knowing that it's a real financial institution that's handling their money. So there you go. So yeah,
I already forgot their name. CoinLab is basically saying that they're not going to deal with anything that is attempted to be anonymous.
Yes, that's the other thing is I think haven't both of them said that?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
I think so. Where they're both saying they're just not going to deal. So not everyone wants the U.S. government putting their nose all over Bitcoin. Well,
okay. Now, this was they seized the accounts that Mt. Gox had in an American bank account.
Yes.
If Mt. Gox did not have that in an American bank account, America would have not done anything about it.
And if it wasn't being used to, well, allegedly, sort of all that, if they didn't suspect that it was being used for laundering money, then it was being ignored up till now.
Yeah.
So
those are the two things. One, it was in the States.
Yeah.
And two, it was possibly being used for laundering money.
Here's a good one from Ars Technica. Was this? Yeah, no, not.
No, that was me.
Okay, so hacker serving. Actually, here I'll let you handle this one since.
So a hacker is serving a 5-year sentence. He helped some gangsters.
Well, they could be gankers. They were stealing money.
Yeah.
Gankers. So there you go, guys. You heard it here first. Thieves are gankers.
Well, kind of, because they're hanging out at the ATM and they gank your it kind of works actually.
They're gankers.
Anyways, they're skimming your cards as you try and put them into ATM machines. So he got caught and put in jail, and to make amends, what he did was kind of solved the problem that he was pushing forward.
Yeah, he's 6 months into his sentence in a Romanian prison. I wouldn't want to be in a Romanian prison.
Probably not. That's probably why he worked so hard. Anyways, he developed a system so that it will rotate the card when it comes in, counteracting skimming machines that he was putting out there.
So pretty much you take, so for those of you who don't look at the article on Ars Technica, basically what it would amount to is instead of inserting your card this way, because the way the skimmers were working is they were reading the mag strip on the back of a card as it went in, before it went in. So what his device does is it kind of like clamps on to the old slot and allows you to insert your card this way. So you insert your card sideways, it flips it around, and then inserts it this way so that the machine itself can read it, but a skimmer couldn't. Now, it seems like a very temporary fix.
Yep. But
But
still a temporary fix. Pretty much every security measure ever, to be completely honest, in the computer world is a temporary fix.
yeah.
Oh, was that your credit card?
No? Why?
Because people are like, look at his card number.
There's no way you're going to be able to read my card number. This is 720p and I'm back here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
don't worry about it.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of cool. That should count for something.
Yeah.
I hope it helps his sentence.
Well, I think what they're saying is, so they're calling this SRS, the Secure Revolving System.
Yeah.
Um,
And I know he's being partnered
something.
up by, there we go.
Yes, SRS development was,
funded by a company called MB Telecom.
yep, products being shopped around and something. I think there's something about how, so the president told Reuters that he fully deserves the recognition. He's at least taking part in improving Romania's image abroad, and he'll surely join our team when released.
This happens so much.
That's cool.
This happens so much. Okay, this is the first time I've seen it with some form of hardware hacking. But it's so common that someone will break into, say, a bank, not steal anything, not look at anyone's personal information, but just kind of sit there, and then either turn themselves in directly to the bank or like bring themselves in, not get caught, and then get hired instead of arrested. Because they'll be like, you know what, if you hire me, I can patch this hole and then help defend you from then on.
Yeah, no, that's, it almost seems like the way to get a job. I mean, that's how
Seriously.
Slick got his job here.
I'm the actual person that stole your YouTube account way back when?
Yeah. And then he was all like, yeah, don't worry, I'll prevent anyone from ever doing that again.
By you activating two-step.
Yeah.
Yay! That's not true, by the way.
Yeah, not true at all. So, oh, here's a community news item that actually I thought was pretty darn cool. So, the Apple App Store just hit 50 billion downloads. This was contributed by, holy crap, Methuselah? Methusen.
Methusen.
Yeah, Methusen 557443. So this was reported by The Verge. Here's the original link. Apple's got 50 billion downloads. I mean, think about that. They gave a $10,000 App Store credit to the person who downloaded the 50 billionth app. This is something that they've done before. And the first 50 people who downloaded an app after that each received a $500 gift card. So to put this in context, it took Apple, so here they are. They have all the numbers. So the blah, 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 September 2012, the Play Store hit 25 billion downloads, and it's been announced today that they're closing in at 48 billion. The Windows Phone Store has reached its first billion a few months ago. BlackBerry's App World reached 3 billion downloads last year. And where was it? I remember reading somewhere how long it took them to reach the first million downloads. And basically the rate at which apps are being downloaded these days is absolutely insane and crazy, and I think it's really awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. It really shows sort of where the market share's at as well. Where you kind of go, yeah, Apple, Google, where Apple had the long head start. Well, I guess not that long, but they had a head start.
Still a pretty substantial head start.
They had a significant head start over Android, and Android, quite frankly, sucked at the beginning anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, very cool. 50 billion downloads. I mean, just unfathomable numbers. That's enough for every person on Earth to have like 7 apps.
Oh.
Like what?
Seriously, yeah. That's actually kind of insane. But you also got to figure out they're probably calculating every time you like reset your phone,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
every time you restore apps,
But
every time.
I know.
There's a lot of arbitrary going on.
Speaking of Android and the experience sucking, the experience might be about to get better than anything that we've ever seen before. So Fonil or Fonil or whatever, man. You guys got to have names I can pronounce on the forum there. So the original article is from geek.com, but at the Google I/O event, Samsung made a huge announcement, and that is that the Galaxy S4 will have a stock vanilla Google experience. Discuss.
Kind of talked about this a little bit already.
When?
Not a lot, but a little bit.
Oh,
when
on
you
the
were
stream?
gone. A little bit, yeah.
Oh.
I didn't talk about, like, I talked about how my favorite phone was the Nexus S.
Okay, hold on. Before you talk, okay, hold that thought. Don't forget. Okay, while Slick is talking, I want you guys on Twitter to tweet us and let us know on a scale of 1 to 10, how mad are you if you already bought a Galaxy S4 with TouchWiz? And now for, what is it, $649 in the Play Store?
Yeah.
Yeah, $649 in the Play Store. You can get an S4 that gets the Nexus treatment, instant Google updates for the lifetime of the device. Holy crap. That makes it, it's crazy to me that it's going to be a Google device at all because Google's trying to get away from the 3 buttons on the bottom, and Samsung basically gave them the old on that. Just did it anyway, okay? And it's got a micro SD, which Google wants to get away from, okay? Like,
It's
what's the deal?
It's awesome. I like.
Okay, so guys, tell us how mad you are.
Back to the Nexus experience,
Yes.
I guess, while we wait for this. I loved my Nexus S because of the updates going like crazy. So I was not that intrigued when S4 came out, but now I'm actually kind of intrigued. I'm not going to go step out and spend $650 on a new phone, but it seems viable now to upgrade from an S3 because I see like the value in getting a phone that will be updated by Google all the time.
Yep. And I mean, Samsung notoriously differentiates their phones by software,
Exactly.
which is just not cool at all.
No.
Apparently, no one on Twitter wants to talk about this.
10 really mad. What's the deal?
Oh, there's one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the Twitter boards. Is this going to happen to the Xperia Z? Kind of doubt it. Only issue is, will the Nexus Experience S4 be CDMA compatible? Not, I think, are there like 1 or 2 different
I read something
versions?
about that, but I
Can't
didn't
remember.
getting it. Yeah.
Can't remember. Okay, so oh, there are a bunch of responses. I just couldn't find them.
Yeah.
If
Not
I had
fun.
bought it, I would be ultra upset. Is the word that Bernardo meant to use. You guys are talking about the Shield streaming. There's an app called Caney that does that. It works over 3G and 4G too. That's very cool. Okay. I think you can just download the ROM and install it on your Samsung S4. If that's possible, then that's very cool. I would not be mad because I would root the thing in a heartbeat. Okay, fair enough. 9,000 out of 10 mad. Because not everyone is comfortable rooting their phone. Just throwing that out there. The Droid DNA took me like 4 to 6 hours to root. And S off and whatever all the things you have to do in order to... And like get the latest over-the-air update that somehow made the phone not rootable. It's still not rootable. And so I had to do all these things in a particular order. I'd never rooted a phone before. It's not that easy with some devices, so... Not mad because I got an iPhone 10, really mad. What's the deal? Not at all, thanks to XDA developers, which I should have used already. I am mad Verizon locked down the DNA when HTC had given it to us unlocked for ROMs. Okay, yeah, I'm mad about that too. They both have the same hardware, so anyone who wants stock badly enough can find a ROM update within a day. This is true. We already talked about this, Sean. First time watching live from Tasmania. Hello!
Hello.
Apparently we're goofy awesome. That must be Australian, like, attempts at English.
My favorite Australian.
Whoa! Sorry, guys. I love you
My
guys.
favorite Australian thing is Straya.
What
And they literally just type Straya,
does that mean?
like Australia, but with a heavy
Oh,
Australian
wow.
accent.
Okay.
That's my favorite thing ever. It's so awesome.
Listening to the stream with wireless headphones. That's a good idea. Casper. 0, I root. Can't care. Don't care. Don't own an S4, but I'd be mad. OEMs should support AOSP more often. Like with Nexus, it's a pain to get it to work with the devices. Honestly, I wish, even just to try it, I wish I could try a stock Google experience on the HTC One, for example. I understand why it's not that easy, and developing multiple firmware streams and multiple software streams is a problem. I mean, especially with the hardware being so diverse on the Android platform, but it just, yeah, I kind of wish I could at least try it. Okay, so you know what? I think that's pretty much it. Do you want to do build logs of the week?
Sure.
And then we are going to start the after party. Should I go get that ready?
Sure. I can do build logs and go get that ready.
Sure.
Hopefully
Okay.
we won't take
So
an
guys,
hour
we're going to
this
be
time.
doing Super Mario live stream, and peace. Slick, just stop it when you're done.
Sure. We'll do.
Project Cheappy. Okay, I might stick around for this.
Which scene is it? 3?
4.
4?
For a limited time only by an Intel Core.
Oh. I asked what scene it was.
Well, no, I meant on there. It's F4.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Why would you...
There's a because F1 always brings up help.
Oh.
Why don't you show them the build log?
Woo. Okay, so I'm going to slow scroll through this because I can barely use this keyboard. The first few pictures are just kind of him getting ready, and then he does a test fit, so don't worry. No stock CPU cooler. Just going to put that out there right now so nobody freaks out. There's no stock CPU cooler. He's just doing a test fit. Pretty nice sleeving. I like it. We will see when he does white sleeving here. He does a zoom in of it. It looks quite good. Where's the better zoom in of it?
That replaceable ring thing on Corsair fans is actually like the smartest thing ever.
It's really cool because you
Yeah.
can make it go to your system. So it's nice. Like it's nice that he sleeved it. It's a little bit loose sleeving. Do you see that? It's a little bit loose sleeving, but you probably won't notice that much unless you're really looking really close. So you start to see it coming together. The sleeving's kind of crazy colors here, but it ends up looking awesome. This took me off by guard at first because I was like, what orientation is that in? It took me a little while to figure it out. And then I got pretty excited because that looks very cool once you actually get to see it in the build. Now you start questioning things because you're like, wait, he has a closed loop cooler and there's a reservoir there and he's got tubing. It's like, what's happening? And I just got, oh, this is so cool. So he took apart his closed loop cooler and adds a reservoir to it, which is awesome. Just totally awesome. It's so cool.
Because I can.
Because you know what? It looks way better. That's what I'm assuming he was thinking. Because it does. It looks super cool. He's got his own tubing. He's got a reservoir in there. It didn't cost him way too much. He definitely doesn't have the cost of doing a whole custom water loop. Although at this point, it's basically a whole custom water loop. So it looks great. He did a little bit. There you go. There's a good shot of the SSD. You can see how it's mounted there in the bottom right vertically, so it shows really, really well when you're looking inside the case. He's got a reservoir, which makes the whole thing look a billion times better. It's just very, very cool little build. Not, if you don't count the reservoir, not a ton of mod work, although he did sleeve all the way to the power supply, so I guess that's just totally not true. There's definitely a ton of mod work on this. Great job. I don't remember which username this was. Jeffrey Rodriguez. Good job, dude. That was an awesome build. That was very, very cool. I'm going to switch over to scene 1. Here we go. Sorry, I'm not so good at this. Let me grab the other build. Now, to go to the complete other spectrum of good-looking builds, we get My R4, which is easily the most creative named thing I've ever seen. So, I don't know what you guys are talking about. He doesn't have a ton of in-progress shots, or 0, but that's his computer. No in-progress shots. It's done. I liked this build a lot because when I first saw it, my first reaction was like, oh, that's photo boothed or like Lightroomed because it just seems like everything goes so well together. And then I realized that it's actually probably not. That's probably exactly what it looks like. He pulled the label off the power supply, sleeved his PSU, and the whole thing looks amazing. Not a ton of steps, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I don't see a ton of people pulling off labels off power supplies. I think he also pulled the stickers off the top of his I/O ports. I'm going to try and point with my mouse for once. So in here, there were probably originally some stickers in there. This is one thing I do that I do not see very many people doing, but I think it really, really improves the look of the build because when you have like Intel Gigabit sticker that is totally in a color profile that doesn't match the rest of your build, I don't think it looks that great. But yeah, this build just looks so clean. So insanely clean. And not the clean where it's like pearl white clean. This just looks crazy sophisticated clean. It's very, very nice looking build. Gentle Typhoons were a perfect choice for the look of this build. Absolutely perfect. I've got some in my build. They look great. They're very simplistic, but they look great. It's just minimalism. You can tell with his headphones and the headphone stand back there, which are awesome. I have a feeling this guy is into minimalism. His cable management is great. He did a really good job. He's got his SSD mounted back there, which is awesome. I'm not a huge fan of the SSD mounting in this case because if I remember correctly, you have to screw it in from behind the motherboard. So to take it off or put another one in, you have to take the motherboard out, which is a little bit annoying. Yeah, it's just an awesome build. And then this is kind of my favorite part. Very nice engraved keycaps. Those are awesome. Nice keyboard he's got there. Nice keyboards always, I think, tie everything together. And that's where you can totally see people's kind of personality come in, because this is where I got the affirmation that he was into minimalism, because checking out his keyboard. It's just, oh, very, very nice build. I'm going to show you guys a little shot of that again. So thanks a lot for build logs. I want to do a quick shout out to the Intel response team. I don't have a URL here, but maybe one of my mods can post it in Twitch chat. We are recruiting people. No one has gotten messages back yet, just by the way. And if we don't message you, I'm sorry, but we just have tons of applicants. If you get in, we will message you. We'll get that rolling. Intel Response Team is awesome. The idea of the Intel Response Team is you're a Linus Tech Tips Forum member who has joined the Intel Response Team. We do not want you to answer any questions that you wouldn't already answer, and we don't want to influence your answer. If you would normally suggest AMD to this person, please suggest AMD to that person. This is if you're joining Intel Response Team. If it's a use case that AMD makes more sense, do that. We do not want to influence your answer. All the Intel Response Team is for is that if someone has an Intel processor, or if someone is interested in buying an Intel processor, that person should get a premium experience. So Intel wants to sponsor the team, so what the team will get is swag and prizes, and they're pretty serious swag and pretty serious prizes, and it's from Intel. So if it's stuff that Intel makes, and it's fairly high-end, I'm not saying exactly what it is, but it's gonna be good. So the prizes are pretty awesome. They're giving them out on a monthly basis. It'll be, basically, you have to do 30 posts a month, and it's not for Linus Tech Tips Forum. You get an amount of, I'll explain the point system later. What's that? Okay, there's a cat in here. He came in when you left last.
Rumble.
Okay, so you have to do 30 posts, but we're looking for posts outside of the forum and inside the forum. The posts about Intel that are going to be consumed within the Linus Tech Tips forum, they're going to go really fast. So basically, if you only post on Linus Tech Tips, you probably won't be able to stay because we need 30 posts from each member every month, and you won't be able to get 30 posts every month with all the other people answering questions. You have to be the best person there, so it has to be a long, very, very good answer. It's not going to be super easy. This isn't for people that are going to school and have a part-time job and have no extra time. This is for people that have a lot of extra time, already post a ton on forums, and are already doing this kind of stuff. This isn't like a lifestyle change idea. This is, we want to reward you for things that you're already doing. So if that sounds like something that you're into, I might have missed some things. Check out the posts that Windspeed made on our forum. Hopefully he can post that, like I said earlier. If that sounds like something that you're into, please apply. We will be going through applications very soon. We'll try and get this team up and running. One of the things I'm going to throw out there that I think I can say is one of the first swag items is going to be team shirts. And the team shirts can have personalized names on the back, and it'll be like Intel Response Team, Intel Response Squad, sorry, and then your forum handle, which is going to be pretty cool. And then it'll say Intel Response Squad somewhere else. I don't know yet. We're probably going to do a community submitted shirt design for that, but we're definitely going to have personalized names on the back. So it's going to be pretty awesome. But like I said, it is going to take some work. It's not going to be that easy, and we need you month by month by month. It's not going to be one thing where you just jump in for a month. We need you to kind of stay on the team. So yeah, if you are actually interested in that, please check it out, and I'll see you on the other side because we're going to go do the live stream. Thanks for watching if you're tuning out now. We will see you next week, or we'll see you on Linus Tech Tips YouTube. Have a good night, everyone.